You just got back. What was it like being at that meeting? Certainly millions of people attend.
Well, 70,000 to be specific,
70,000.
which is quite a few people to pack into a convention center. And you got 400,000 square feet of exposition space, and you could barely move around. Firearms everywhere, anti-Obama slogans everywhere, and the NRA's motto of the moment, which is stand and fight. Even though they've just won an extraordinary political victory in Washington, it is not the NRA's style ever to say we've won, now we can relax. It's always there's a new threat just over the horizon, and that's why you got to get your checkbooks out, people, and start contributing.
Millions of dollars, maybe, not millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Do you have a sense of how the attendees here think about public opinion? I know the NRA thinks about itself as under assault by the media and by politicians in Washington. Do they see themselves as being on the minority side of a political debate, that they're winning by having greater intensity than the other side?
I don't think so. I think particularly the rank-and-file people who attend this conference, and this is largely a rank-and-file conference, unlike gun industry gatherings, see themselves as the ordinary people from the places they come from, where their neighbors very much share their point of view. That's a big difference. I mean, the NRA, like a lot of other single-issue groups on the right, feels that it is fighting for traditional America. It is trying to get a society back that we've lost and that Obama, Clinton before him have taken away. There's a great deal of self-confidence, self-assertion, honor the troops. I didn't feel a lot of defensiveness or tentativeness.
But what's interesting is they don't shy away from the national debates about the Newtown massacres and the other. They blame the president for his handling of school security, right?
Well, the NRA is very good at blame. That's one of their big things. And on something like a school shooting, their first move is to say, well, we should have armed guards or even armed teachers in the school. On the political front, what they'll say is the president is exploiting a tragedy in order to serve his progressive agenda. They are very quick, they're very nimble, excellent counterpunchers.
Paul, what about the gun makers themselves? Did you detect any change in messaging?
No, I think the gun makers in this environment are happy to sort of quietly go along, allow the NRA to keep the debate going, because that debate sells firearms. Firearms sales are up 30% month to month just since December, and they were already very elevated since the very beginning of the Obama administration. We are seeing a boom in firearm sales unlike any since the early 1990s when Bill Clinton came in.
How is it that in the wake of Newtown and with the public supporting stricter background checks that we have gotten zero legislation here, not even the most minor legislation? Can you credit the NRA?
Well, first of all, to the last question, yes. The NRA deserves a lot of credit for focusing attention and putting pressure on particular key lawmakers. However, we have not seen zero legislation. In a number of states, you've actually seen quite aggressive agendas enacted. New York, Connecticut, Maryland, Colorado, there's movement in California. So what you're seeing is kind of a disaggregation of the gun debate. You're seeing our federal system in action. In Washington, the NRA has the resources and the strategy to tie Congress up. But at the state level, you're seeing laws change. Remember, we have very different gun laws all around the country.
Yeah, I guess I was referring to the federal.
Did you get a sense of motion from them on this sort of alternative agenda they put up in the wake of Newtown, saying, you know, we need these armed guards in schools, we need some sort of national mental health registry? Is this a thing that the NRA has a legislative strategy behind, or is it really just a distraction to discourage talk about gun control?
I think much more the latter. Okay. I don't think they feel any real obligation to come forward with an affirmative agenda on what's got to be one of the most complicated social issues in the world, how to deal with mental illness, and I don't think you're going to see the NRA taking an active role in that.
I was just looking at the roster of speakers. Is the NRA part of the Republican Party at this point?
The NRA is very much a part of the Republican Party.
But it's technically nonpartisan, right?
Oh, that's right. But I mean, you don't see Dianne Feinstein giving a speech here. You see Cruz. You see Sarah Palin. You see Glenn Beck, and so forth.